Hey everybody, this is Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and I hope y'all are having an awesome Thursday. Glad you're here. When you see that I'm live, make sure you say hello. I don't see anybody on yet, but we'll just continue on. How about that? This was a very impromptu live. I've got a busy day tomorrow. Our granddaughter Megan will be receiving an award tomorrow morning. So I had to cancel my live with Craft Round the Clock. So I decided I would come in today, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I thought about going live tomorrow afternoon, but I thought, well, let's just go ahead and do it today. And I just quickly changed gears, what I was going to make today. I had everything set out, and I decided I'd change my mind. So I guess we have that prerogative, don't we? Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Miss Kathy. And Miss Janet, good morning, and thank you for sharing those biscuits. I appreciate that. This is very short notice. I did not announce it on my page, so I am relying on you guys to pass the biscuits for me to let everybody know I'm live right now. I know Craft Round the Clock's going on, so there may be people that are over there watching one of the creators right now with Craft Round the Clock as well. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Miss Brenda. How are you doing? Did y'all see my picture of Miss Gracie this morning? I thought I would greet y'all with that sweet, sweet, precious face of Miss Gracie. And so she puts a smile on your face. So I'm going to really quickly find myself here on my iPad. And so I can see comments from both sides. Did you see the picture, Deb? Isn't it sweet? Thank you, Brenda, for passing those biscuits. I need y'all's help this morning. I sure do. I'm going to, real quickly here, let's see. I'm going to pin something here because I forgot to feature my link. So I'm going to try that. So I pinned a comment there in the comments, a little blue pin, because I did not feature a link. But I'm going to be using one of the napkins from my Sweet Summertime Napkin Bundle. And if you haven't ordered or didn't know for some reason that they're available, the link is right there for y'all. Did you see Miss Gracie? Wasn't she cute? Hey, Linda, how are you doing this morning? And you're watching from, hey, Lorraine, you're from Staten Island. I've never been to Staten Island. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I don't know. Apparently, I was in New York when we boarded a flight over to Germany when I was a wee one. So that's about what I remember from New York. But I want to go to New York so bad. That's one of my on my bucket list to go to New York. Good morning, June. Well, we got a few people hopping on. Grab your coffee this morning. Like I said earlier, if you're just hopped on, this is a very impromptu live. Megan's getting an award tomorrow, so I need to be at the school for that. And so I decided I'd just go live today. So I'm not even prepared. And look at here, I'm in my my Auburn t-shirt, and I had to chase the horses this morning into the other pasture, and I wasn't even prepared to go live today, but it was just something I decided to do to change gears, so bear with me here. So at least I did put on a little bit of makeup this morning after I got my shower, so I'm not too scary. Isn't it pretty? I love the color. I do too. It was a soft orange, if not the great big, the great bright orange, but I got this when Sarah graduated. A few weeks ago. I thought it's about time I have an Auburn shirt, and I got an Auburn trucker hat too, so I'll wear that when I mow. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. How are you? Did you see this sweet Gracie? She has this sweet, sweet, sweet face. You just want to squeeze her, don't you? You just want to squeeze her. Good morning, Miss Marcia from Kansas. What's the weather doing in Kansas? So I'm just chatting. I'm going to start here just a second, but I have the time because I'm not on Craft Round the Clock. So I like to kind of greet everybody, and then we're going to get started. So I won't waste a whole lot of your time. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. So I got one more sip of coffee there. So I am going to be using one of the napkins from my napkin bundle. We used this one last week. that has the pretty paisleys and stars. And if you missed it, you can, I can give you the link in the comments, or you can go find it on replay. But this is what we did with that napkin. I used it as a background, and I used, Magnolia Design Company has a package of stars in their surface section. They're red, white, and blue wood stars already painted, and I used one of those. And then I used the Freedom Minis, which is now restocked. It is available. And I just chalked God Bless America on there, and I got it a little low. I didn't have it centered like I should have. And so I went back after the live and added a star to it from my craft club kit. Yeah, go Auburn, War Eagles, right? Hey, Tana, good morning. It is 80s, it's in the 80s and sunny. Well, how nice, that's nice. We're gonna have a little cool spell. We're gonna go back to early spring, apparently. We've been in the high 70s, low 80s, and now we're gonna be in the highs in the 60s for a few days. So anyway, that's what I did on that. So if you're interested in that, just put info and I'll give you the link to the Magnolia stencil and all that. And I do have the napkin bundle pinned right here too, in case y'all didn't know my napkin bundle was available. And you love watching me craft. Well, I love you being here, Miss Lisa. Thank you for being here this morning. I appreciate that. Good morning, Kathy. So we used that one last week. So this week we're going to use the really pretty heart flag. And I didn't go real heavy on my patriotic for my summer bundle. You had frost last night, Patty Faye. Oh my gosh, you had to cover your few plants. Yeah, we have like blackberry winter and dogwood winter and all that, but I'm hoping we're finished with that, I hope. Here's the other one, the hydrangeas right there, and it's real pretty. There's two on one side, and then on the other you've got the ticking stripe that you can definitely use for other projects as a background, but you got two of each on there. So that's my other patriotic napkin. And like I said, I do have these others, and I won't bore you with them. I know y'all are busy, but anyway, we've got a pretty botanical there, and we've got a bee one and another bee napkin with the writing and the honeycomb there, and a really pretty background. I think that one would be pretty on a smashed can. As well as that one, the thistle, really pretty. It's a variety here. And here's the herb garden. I love that one. That one's close to my heart. Love, love, love that bird. You know I love birds, and I know a lot of you do too. Good morning, Emma. It reminds you of baseball. Patty Faye, it does, doesn't it? Remind you of that of baseball? And then here's another bird one. Isn't that sweet? And then our little whimsical bird. So there's 12 napkins right there for $18. And including your shipping. So that's all it should be, not unless your tax is applicable wherever you live. So no surprises there on that. So this is the napkin we're going to use today. And good morning, Miss Lynn. How are you? So if you're interested in my napkin bundle, I pinned the link there in the comments, a little blue pin, and you can go there and order it. So this morning I'm going to use 3. I'm going to use these little wood planks from Dollar Tree. I keep a supply of those whenever I can find them. I keep them. They're good to have. Thank you, Kathy. I hope you like them. I know a lot of people that have already received them said they really liked them close up in person, and so I appreciate that. I take my time procuring these and looking at these, because when I look at the napkins, I'm also looking for how pretty they are, but I'm also looking at how you can craft with them, how you can create a pretty home decor piece for your house. And thank you, OC. So I look for a lot of things when I'm looking at the napkins, not just the napkin itself. So hey, Glenda. So it takes me quite a bit of time, and that's why I only found 12. And I think that's a good number. I was doing 15, but I think that might be too much. So I reduced the price, and I'm doing 12. And so I hope y'all enjoy them. So I'm going to use 3 of these. Okay, we're going to use 3 of those napkins. You're finally up to 46, Pat. Good morning. My goodness, you're having a cool spell too. It was in the 60s when I left. So, but it's supposed to get windy, and then it's supposed to get cooler. And we'll see. I think the highs will be in the 60s for the next several days. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to, let me show you what else I'm doing. I'm also going to be using this board here, and I need to sand it. I got a bundle of these Barnwood from Hobby Lobby in the woodpile section, and they come in different shades. Most of them were more of a honey colored or grayish honey colored Barnwood, weathered wood. This one was dark, and so I didn't have a need for it, and it's just been sitting in there in my storeroom. In my studio. So I'm going to use this today. Okay, that's going to be part of the porch liner right there. So I'm going to use that. And I'm also going to be using some primitive stars, metal stars. These come from Factory Direct Craft. And so I love, they come in different sizes, and I love to buy these. So I'm going to, I don't know if you can take a picture of this, but I'm going to write it down. Y'all get a pencil or a pen and write it down for this size. You get 2 of them. And it's item number 247226. 247226. That's the item number if you go to factorydirectcraft.com and put that item number in the search. 247226. That's what we'll be using there. So I want to just kind of clean up these little wood planks or whatever you call them from Dollar Tree. I just need to sand them and kind of clean them up a little bit. They're kind of rough, you know. They're just cheap thin board, you know. This is an older pack. I've noticed that the newer packs definitely are a little thicker and nicer. So I just kind of want to clean them up and just make them a little bit more presentable. How about that? If that's possible. So I'm just using my little gator sander. You can get these at Walmart. In the hardware section is where I found this one. You can also get them at, I would assume, I shouldn't say that, at Home Depot or Lowe's. I would assume the hardware stores carry them. When I finished my live last night, everything was frozen over. It had snowed throughout the day. You're kidding me, Pat. You're kidding me. Wow. That had to have been hard coming from Texas, coming back to that kind of weather. Of course, it was warm, wasn't it, when you came back? If you've been planting flowers and decided to take a break at the perfect time, well, good, Jenny. I've already started my container gardens. You know, it's safe now to plant them. I didn't want to plant them before I went to Texas because I didn't want to put that responsibility of watering on my daughter, which I could have, but I just decided to wait because I didn't know what the weather would do here at home, because we could have like some frost. So I've been working on those a little bit. Have y'all noticed the plants have gone up in price? They have really gone up in price. You're taking a break from mulching. Oh, Sherry, you're making my back hurt, girlfriend. But I did plant some. I've not finished, but they have gone up in price. Let me tell you, I try to put at least 3 plants per container in my pots, and I've got several, and I'm not finished yet. But I've spent, the first bill was like $97, and I don't know what the other one was, because I bought a couple of plants for my daughter for Mother's Day. Some are, containers already planted up for her. And I just bought some extra then. So, I don't know. So, I'm going to paint these real quick. You're in Tallahassee and it's already 82, Stephanie. Well, it's been that. It's been 80, 81. Yesterday, I think it was in the 70s, high 70s. But it was nice. It's been nice. It's been feeling like summertime. Oh, I got to bend over. Oh, gosh, that's going to hurt. Oh, I need to stretch that SI joint, is what they tell me. Plant prices have gone crazy the past couple of years. They have. I seem to have noticed it more this season, though. You've been planting my vegetable and herb garden. Ooh, lovely. Well, did you see my napkin? My herb garden napkin I have? I love herbs and love botanicals. Botanicals are trending this year. in home decor, just single flowers, plants. And one of my napkins has a fern botanical and with the botanical name, and then and also on it is the black-eyed Susan with the botanical name, and it's real pretty. So I got you some things in there in the bundle that's trending this year too. Of course, bees. I mean, who doesn't love bees, or are you tired of bees? They're still very popular and trending. You see those in all the stores still, all the bee decor, and I guess you could go a little crazy with them, but they are still trending. Lemons are apparently still trending. Any kind of citrus, oranges, and then strawberries, you know, the fruits and things like that. So a lot of that is still going on, so which is good if you've got that in your decor. Okay, so I'm just painting the sides up a little bit to kind of clean them up, make them look a little bit better here. But I decided I'm gonna use 3 of them and kind of go from there. So you do like bees? They're cute, aren't they, Anastasia? Good morning. We need our bees. Yes, we do, Sherry. We definitely need our bees, don't we? Do any of you remember the wasp or the hornet that migrated or came over here from, I don't know if it was Asia a couple of years ago, but we started seeing them here in the United States. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? They're huge. They're humongous. Absolutely huge. And I don't know if they hurt you. They look like they would hurt you if they stung you. They really do. They're so big and so mean looking. But apparently they came from overseas somewhere. They made their way here. And you do what you like. It's hard to keep up with trending. It is. But as a decorator, I do keep up with that. But I tend to use stuff that's classic in my own home, you know, that doesn't go out of style. And I don't care if it goes out of style like with you, Sherry. If I like it, it's in my house, you know. So do what y'all want to do. But do y'all remember that big wasp or hornet? It's something hornet. I don't know if it's the one they call the murder hornet or what. But anyway, long story short, I killed one of those. I shouldn't say that. I destroyed one of those. It took me a while to do it, but it was inside the other day, and it was crawling on a chair, and I thought it was a tarantula. No kidding. I thought I had a huge tarantula or a big wolf spider or whatever you want to call those things, and it was one of those hornets. So you do the classics too. Yeah, I do too. You know, but bees are cute, you know, if you like them. And you have to leave. I'll watch replay. Well, Miss Gwen, thank you for being here this morning and saying hello. And you have a good day. Appreciate it. You do remember the hornet I'm talking about, Anastasia? I don't know. Somebody Google it. It's bugging me. Your home's traditional? It is. I've seen a lot of your pictures, Sherry, and it's real pretty. And you can't go wrong with traditional. So, are you thinking of what they called? No, not this. Well, the cicada killers, they live in the ground. Patricia, it could be. I just know that this one came from overseas. I want to say Asia. And they said that it had already made its way to the U.S. That was a couple of years ago. And I saw one last year, but then I saw this one. And it's big. It was big. Yes, in my house. Like I said, I thought it was a tarantula or a great big wolf spider because it was crawling on one of our dining chairs. And I thought, what is that? And I went over, and that thing is like that long. I'm not kidding. It's that long. And I don't know if it's called, somebody called it the murder hornet or something. Tim said, is it the murder hornet? He was Googling it. And, it took me a while. That thing was not wanting to give it up. And, but that thing scared me. I thought, man, that thing would hurt if it stung you. And I don't know if they're aggressive. I really don't. I just remember hearing about it on the news that it had made its way to the U.S. So, lucky us, right? So, I know they're in Georgia. it was killing our bees. Yes, I did hear that. That's what I read somewhere at the time when the article came out, or it was on the news, is that they are killing the bees, our good bees that we need. So, you know, like I said, I don't know if there's a nest of them or what, but I have seen that one, and it was in the house, so it was inside, so not fun. Okay, so we're good, and I'm not, you know, the napkins going across these, so I'm not being super picky about what they look like. You don't change your decor much, Anastasia. If it's cute, you'll add to it. Yeah, I do too. Even when we moved from the suburbs, from Atlanta area, I had a French country house, and I still used a lot of that when we moved, even though we were up here in the mountains. I had more of a high country lodge look, you know, so it wasn't, I had a few little moose, like one big moose thing in there, but stars, and anyway, it wasn't your cutesy little bears and things like that, you know, but it was more of a high country lodge look. The cicada killers are really big and scary looking. They will dive bomb you, but they don't sting. They just scare you. Well, it could have been that. It could be that one. They are the murder hornets from Asia. Okay, Joanne. Murder hornets from Asia. Well, they've made it here, and I don't know why they call them that, but not unless it's because of the bees, you know, what they're doing to our good bees, our bumblebees and stuff, because we need them, and we need them to pollinate our flowers, and we need the honey. You know, we have a lot of people here, local people, that make, you know, the local honey, and which is good, by the way, for your allergies. If you have allergies, they say to buy local honey and use it, and that will help your body get used to the allergens in your area, you know, and I think it works. I need to get some more. I see some honey vendors at some of the craft fairs, you know, they're starting up right now, so I'm going to get some more honey. You're fixing lunch for your grands today, Kathy. Well, good morning, and I hope you enjoy your time with your grands. Is it just a special day, or do you keep them every day? So, hey, Janet. Good morning, Miss Betty. This is just a impromptu live. I originally was scheduled with Craft Round the Clock tomorrow morning, and I canceled that one early on, beginning of the week or end of last week, when Megan found out she was getting an award. And she still doesn't know the award, but it's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So school gets out early tomorrow. Tomorrow's their last day of school. And school gets out tomorrow early, and I thought, well, I don't know what her plans are. If she's going to want to stay till 12:30, or if she's going to want to go home after the awards. So I thought, let's just do it today. So we're going to do it today, and I get to be with y'all. So, and like I said, I wasn't planning to do one, so here I am all in my Auburn t-shirt and stuff. But we'll get through it, y'all. So, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with a t-shirt. I say I usually have on something nicer, but that's okay. You have lunch Tuesdays and Thursdays. Lunch when I have my littles. Aw, how sweet. How sweet. My littlest one, my first one, is getting married Memorial Day. So, I can't believe it. She just graduated college. She's gone back to Auburn today to pack up her apartment. And then they're bringing her bedroom suite from here on down to Leesburg, and they're also bringing a trailer to Auburn tomorrow, and her fiance is, and his dad, and pack up her apartment and taking it all to their rental house in South Georgia. So they'll be moving into the house this weekend, and then she'll come back Sunday, probably Sunday or Monday, and then spend the week, and then they fly out on Friday to New Mexico for a destination elopement between Santa Fe and Albuquerque. And then they'll come back after their little honeymoon there. That's part of the package, and then we'll have the reception June 3rd. So pray for good weather for the reception for me, please. It's an outdoor pavilion at a winery. So the murder hornets are aggressive to our North American honeybees, Pat. They do have a hefty sting to humans. Okay, that's I wasn't gonna find out. You know what I mean? What else? They get you. They can get you. I wouldn't doubt it. I just did not want to take any chances with that. No chances at all. Okay, guys. Guess my fingers are dry enough from all that paint. I'm a messy painter. What can I say? Thank you, Jenny, for passing the biscuits. Maybe some of my Auburn friends will see your shirt. Yeah, War Eagle, War Eagle. Yeah, and I do need you to pass the biscuits because I didn't give anybody any notice that I was going live. And I did send out a text. I don't know who got it and who didn't get it. So, but anyway, I'm glad to be here. Okay, so let's get our 3 little napkins here. This is from my bundle. I love that. See how it's got sort of a linen background with kind of a charcoal gray underneath there. I love that. And it's got some crackling on the flag. I really like that a lot. So to me it just looks really Americana. So I'm going to just go ahead and put some Mod Podge on each one of these. And get those dried, and we'll iron. Ooh, I got too much there. Dry those. And, okay. These little Mod Podge brushes I got from Hobby Lobby. You know how they have the little kiosks? What a mess. You know how they have this, got something in it. I'm finishing up this last round of Mod Podge in this bottle, and then I'm starting on a new bottle. They have these on the little, I call it a kiosk. I don't know what you call it. In the middle of the aisle, back in the craft section, they have the Mod Podge products there, and that's where I found this little brush. Now, on Amazon, you can get this particular brush, and these are great for applying your sealant when you put your napkin on or your rice paper. These are great to seal with because of the bristles. They're just soft, and you don't see a lot of brush strokes and stuff. So I like to use them when I can. And I just clean it with dishwashing detergent, dishwashing liquid. I keep some in some water right here, actually. Some Dawn is what I've got, but I clean them with that, and they do real well. So I'm going to get that out of there. Some spots there. I think I'm going to start using, I don't know. I mean, Mod Podge is so reasonable, but they say the PintArt decoupage medium is good. So I don't know. I might try it and see how I like it. But I do so much decoupaging. I don't know. Mod Podge is just so reasonable. But I don't know why I keep getting this stuff. I put some new from the new bottle in there, but it's just like it's kind of glopped up, you know, the Mod Podge gets on there, so just a mess. Okay, I think we're good. I'm looking to see here in the light. I got it all covered here. Okay, so let's just dry that and get those dry. I have that brush and love it for my Mod Podge. Isn't it nice, Emma? It really is. Go Cats. Yeah. They're often tigers, but I don't know why they say War Eagle. I need to ask Sarah that. Any of you Auburn fans know? Hey, LaBrisca, my Eclectic Treasures is on. Are you enjoying your time in Pigeon Forge? You're probably staying, when we stayed there during Christmas a couple of years ago, we stayed in a cabin in Wares Valley, which is right there. basically at Pigeon Forge, and very nice area. When I saw your reel the other day of you traveling down in Wares Valley, I thought, I remember those places. It was like a store I saw you drove by. I remember all that. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good time. So it's always nice to get away with your hubby, isn't it? When you can. We need to get away. We just went to Texas, but after our little incident on Mother's Day, I feel like I need to get away again. So our holding tank overflowed. Mr. Wonderful was putting water in it so he could empty it. Forgot he had the water in there, and it overflowed. And we had water running out underneath the RV, and I ran into the bedroom and bath, and we had sewer water all over the floor in the bathroom, as well as part of the carpet in the bedroom. So that's how I spent a good portion of my Mother's Day. My son-in-law came down with his wet vac, and Tim wet vac the bedroom and bath, and my son-in-law got the storage room, the storage part of our RV compartment, because it was all wet, the carpet. Oh yeah, Labrisca, it was nasty. And I said, what is that water coming out from under? He goes, oh no, I forgot I left the water on. He got distracted on working on another project, because he was charging the battery on what he uses to pump it out, and he was pumping it in a hose to our septic tank going to our house. So I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned with bleach. Matter of fact, y'all probably can't tell it. My fingerprint, my computer won't take my fingerprint right now, but you know, I didn't have gloves. I don't know if you can see it. You see all those raw places on my fingers? That's from the bleach. But I cleaned with bleach, and then anything that was sitting on the floor and the cabinets underneath, you know, all that got thrown out. And so I don't know, we may be removing the carpet and replacing it with some luxury vinyl planks or something like that. I guess there's a certain way things you have to consider with the slide outs coming in, but it's cleaned up as much as we can clean it up, really. We got to it quick, and we had fans. My son-in-law had one of those fans that you use to dry out. So we had that going, and I just don't know what's under the carpet, to be honest. So I just don't feel like the carpet is clean, you know what I mean? So we're going at the end of June for our 50th anniversary, staying in between Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. Well, Sherry, you'll love it if you've ever been there before. It's a nice place. It is. And good restaurants, and the island is a fun place to go. We love it there. It's about 3 hours from us. Okay, so let's get our napkins going here. They're all dry. The Mod Podge is dry. So I'm going to separate these. They're 3-ply, so I'm going to get these separated. Have any of you that have ordered my napkin bundle, have you done anything with this napkin yet? Let me know in the comments. And then I would love to see what you have done, if you've done it. I would love to see it. You can put a picture of it in the comments, or I don't know if you can on my live or not, but you could also put it in my free group, sharing group, Create with Southern Designs and Finds. I'd love to see what y'all make with these. Those of you that have received them have told me you love them, so I'm glad to hear that. And I really hope you enjoy them. Good morning, Helga. Good morning, friend. How are you? Okay. Sorry about that, but that's how I do this. I do the lick and stick method here. You can take Mod Podge and put on your finger if you want to. Tape works well, like painter's tape. Every now and then, though, I tear my napkin with the painter's tape. I'm not very good at that. So whatever works with y'all works, okay? And y'all make sure you get that off my table. That Mod Podge there. Okay. Let me throw this away. It's a mess. I had all that big glob of Mod Podge on it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's position our napkins here. I'm gonna I don't know if I'll need to bring y'all down a little bit more. Let me see how that works. If that is that any better for y'all to see? I don't know. So just got to work and realized you were live. Of course, I have to watch you. Oh, sweetie. I say listen to you. I say listen to you when I'm at work. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do. You're almost done creating with the water can napkin. Ooh, Pam, I would love to see that. That's weird. I gotta get me up a little bit. I can't stand my head being cut off there. Okay, let's start with this one. And I'm just gonna center it as best I can. I'm gonna lose a little bit on the sides, but that's okay. I'll just want to make sure it's centered from top and bottom. Okay, I'm gonna move it up just a little bit. That's what's nice when you iron these napkins on, is because you can move them. If you do the wet method where the Mod Podge is wet and you lay your napkin down, you pretty much just get one chance to pull it up gently and reposition it. Then you risk tearing it. I can't wait to get your napkins. Well, thank you for ordering. I'm caught up. I sent a 2 more out yesterday, so I'm caught up so far today. And I don't know how many I've got over there, but I've got some left. So y'all are more than, if you would like one, I can get it out to you. But that's what's nice, is you can reposition your napkins, which makes it so much easier when you're trying to center. So I think it's on straight. I hope so. So let me get my parchment paper out. And we'll iron that one on. Okay. Gotta get all my cords undone here. Hey, Gail. Hey, Sharon. Appreciate y'all being here. Please pass the biscuits and let everybody know I'm live. I didn't warn anybody. This was a surprise, and I'm not on Craft Round the Clock, so I'm not being shared into that group. Which helps the viewers. So, but I am so happy that each and every one of you are here. So don't get me wrong, because I'm happy you're here. Okay, so I'm gonna just go over that. Okay, I'm gonna lay that one to the side now, and I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then we'll sand it. Okay, so let's do another one here. I'm going to do 3 of them. And see how this is going to look here. Do any of y'all have problems centering things? Or is it just me? My brain these days just has little bits of an issue of things being centered. I don't know what it is. Even my depth perception is off a little bit, so don't know if that just comes with age or what. Good morning, Carmen. I am happy you're here, Janet. I really am. So we have a busy month. Tomorrow is Megan's last day of school, so that's good, because I don't have to stop in the middle of the day and go pick her up and wait on her and pick her up. I'm just talking about that, Pam. The reception plans are coming along. People are really bad about RSVPing. It's like pulling teeth, because I have to know. The caterers are going to, add a few extra, because you undoubtedly, somebody may bring somebody else, or they forgot to RSVP, and so you undoubtedly have those people. But I'm renting tables, and so I need to kind of know a ballpark of how many tables and tablecloths to rent. I don't want to be renting them and then I don't have to use them. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let those cool off. So tomorrow, the 20th was the deadline, but I need to reserve the tables tomorrow. The place has chairs and the place has rectangular tables, but we're going to use round tables. I think it's going to be easier. We're short on space of all the. Sarah wanted a backdrop, we had bought an archway, a metal arch frame for Megan for her 16th birthday, and put balloons on it, you know, a balloon arch for pictures, like a photo booth. So Sarah wanted one with, I'll show it to you. She wanted the green grass background, and we've ordered a light that says the Gilliams, a neon light, which it should be coming in today, any day now, because that's what the email said. But so that's got to go under there. It could go outside if it's not, you know, weather permitting. But so the DJ's been paid in full, and Sarah's been emailing him requests, and on the announcement she had a QR code that gives where she's registered at Target and Amazon, and she has added things to Target, and she's excited about getting some things in the mail already. And so we went to Hobby Lobby last Saturday and got a few things for, you know, a sign that says cards and gifts, and then we got a box that says Happily Ever After, that has the little wooden hearts that you write your name on there, or a message to them, you know, or a scripture, and put inside the box instead of a guest book. So she got that, and so we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, so those are on, and I'll show you the grass panel while those are cooling off. These are what came in, and they come with green twist ties, and you put them together, and you make a panel, and some areas are not as thick as some, like I was hoping they would be, but it'll work. Anyway, the sign somehow hangs down, the neon sign, but it's a great big 8 by 8 foot panel of these, and so that'll be a backdrop for them to have pictures with their friends or whatever. So I think there's 20 of those. I think there's 20. I don't know. But we'll be putting that together. We're on a road trip, and just saw I was on. Denise, well, good, my friend. How are you? Now, don't forget, I don't know if you're on your road trip, if you can watch tonight in our Southern at Heart group, but we have Ellie Zadok as a guest crafter tonight in our Southern at Heart. So my Southern at Heart gals, make sure you watch tonight. But where are you going? I'm just being nosy. I want to know where you're going. So, good for you, and have a safe trip. War Eagle is a battle cry, not a mascot. Okay, because legend said, I gotta read this. I want to read this. Thank you, Jenny, for putting this down. War Eagle is a battle cry, not a mascot, like the tiger would be, I guess, Obby. Legend said years ago a wounded eagle was rehabbed by a soldier who brought the eagle to Auburn in 1892 at the AU versus Georgia football game. The aged eagle broke away from the master during the game and circled the field, exciting the fans. After Auburn won, the old eagle fell to the ground and died. Really? So that's the legend of that. That is so interesting. I wonder if, I'm sure my granddaughter knows that. But, yeah, they're excited. They are. It wasn't, right, Pat, it wasn't what we thought. You know, she did want a wedding. She didn't want a big wedding. She didn't. She's just not that way. She's really simple. But she did want a wedding, and so she didn't even want to get engaged until after she graduated, and he surprised her April 1st. And what is she supposed to say? No, you know. So he did not want a long engagement, but I kind of thought she'd win out. But in all fairness, she's moving to South Georgia she's starting her new job June 5th. And so he's been away from her all 4 years, except some on the weekends when she'd come home, and she didn't come home every single weekend. That's a little crooked, but it's gonna have to do, guys. I got that one a little askew. Nothing I can do about it, but it's homemade, right? So her compromise, he wanted to go ahead and move to South Georgia with her and be married, not move in together. And I have to honor that, and I have to respect that for a young person, you know, these days. So they decided it's not too bad, but it's a little crooked, but it's not too bad. It's not bad, but it's pretty, isn't it? I love that. I love that heart. So I admire him for that. Telephone always interrupts when you're watching Crafters. I'll go back to the replay when you're finished. Cheryl, it always happens, doesn't it? Always. Thank you for being here. But so her compromise was, well, if we're going to do this, you know, Mr. Wonderful said, just go get married to the courthouse. Well, she didn't want to do that. And so she said, well, let's do a destination elopement and have like our honeymoon there, you know, too. And so the package provides the hair and makeup. It provides, you get the photographer, you get your wedding flowers, you send a picture of what you want, and the florist makes it, and the boutonniere, they get a little wedding cake. Your meals, morning meals and evening meals at the casita. And I know I missed a comment. Somebody said something about New Mexico being beautiful, and I didn't get to see it. It's not bad, Helga. It isn't. I just noticed it, you know, but they all may be that way. So everything's included in that. So they will fly and get their marriage license on Friday when they fly into Albuquerque. They'll go and get their license. There's no blood tests involved, just your no waiting period. So that one looks pretty good. So that's what they're doing. So that was a shock when they came over and told us, but we've been very supportive, and I know Jennifer was disappointed too, but she was very supportive as well. And you know, I mean, that was their decision, you know, so you gotta honor that, and I honor him for not wanting to just move in with her. So, you know, I appreciate that, and I know his parents do too. I know they were upset a little bit, just disappointed, but they're coming around too. So we'll have the reception, the after party, and barring my niece-in-law is having knee surgery. She may have already had it, but my nephew is a pastor, and Sarah lived with him last summer, both of them, while she did her internship with Godfrey Feed, and that's where she'll have her job. And so they offered her a job. They said, don't talk to anybody else until you talk to us after graduation. So he's going to do kind of like a little mini ceremony or a wedding blessing, provided he can still come if Fran's doing okay with her surgery. And which I think will be nice for him to be able to give a few thoughts, you know, about marriage to them, and then also let us, you know, pray over their marriage, whoever's there. So I think that'll be really sweet. I've always wanted to go to Mexico for the scenic beauty, the handcrafted silver and turquoise, of course. Oh yeah, I wonder if what she'll come home with. Maybe I need to put my order in. So these aren't bad. These are not bad at all. So one was just a little askew, but not bad. So that's their plan. And I just think with them doing the, my nephew praying over them and doing like a marriage blessing or a wedding blessing will be good, you know. So it won't be a full blown out ceremony with vows and all that, but it'll be special. And that'll make his parents happy and my daughter and us, you know, be able to pray with them and pray over their marriage. So I still have one napkin left for my panel, and I'm using 3. So I've got those. I'm going to lay those to the side, and those will get sealed. But I'll do it when everything's calmed down on the napkin. I'll probably do a spray sealer. I used a spray sealer on this, and it did fine because I had to seal my, y'all can see it in the mat. I sealed my stencil. And I used the spray sealer on that, and it didn't bubble or didn't do anything. So I used a clear matte sealer. So, but if you use Mod Podge to seal your napkins, they will bubble up a little bit. Don't panic. Just take your dryer and dry it where the bubbles are. And then when it's not sticky, then go over it with your finger or your parchment paper. You know, put it over there and rub it as you're drying it, and those those bubbles will go right back down. So I think so, Michelle. The pictures I've seen from some of they had like 3 photographers you could choose. They were gorgeous pictures. It's on 30 acres, this resort or this place where you can get married. And there's a main house and then there's the casita. And it's off the grid. They're running on solar power because it's in the desert. But they have different locations that are good for the wedding ceremony. And so, and apparently they even play a song and they get to dance to it. And, you know, so it's going to be an intimate ceremony. And every morning when I'm driving in, I pray all goes well. They pray that they can, no glitches getting their marriage license and all of that. And so it's going to be special. So I just pray that they have a blessed marriage of many years. So, hey Sonia, good to see you this morning. So this board, like I said earlier, came from Hobby Lobby. And it was in a bundle of Barnwood over in the woodpile section. And so I got a text. And this was the darker of the others. The others were lighter, like tans, you know, colors. And so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to just sand it a little bit more. I had started sanding it a little bit before my live, just to kind of play around with it. Just to give it a little bit more, some of that tan showing through. I don't know if it weathered this way or they painted it, stained it. I don't know, but it was the darker of all of them. So, and I just saved it. I thought, well, I'll use it for something, you know. So sorry about the noise. I just wanted to, you know, I'll have to clean all that debris off there from where I'm sanding it. But this is just my idea of what I'm gonna do with it. Okay, but you can see how dark it is, and I guess that's the better side of any of them. I'm gonna see if my battery still works on this. My friend Miss Sherry gave me this, and I'm gonna my little towel, and I'm gonna clean up. Try to clean up, see if it's gonna pick it up. Maybe so fine it won't pick it up. Nah, it did okay. It didn't pick it all up. So I'll just vacuum it, but I want to get it to where the surface is clean here. Yes, it came, Pat, it was in a bundle. I think there were 4. There were 4 pieces of Barnwood, and they're various shades of color. This was the darker one. They were grayish, tannish, you know, just your everyday Barnwood. And they're about, I don't know, they're about, let's see here, they're about 6 inches wide. And they were about, well over, about 2 feet. 2 feet long and 6 inches wide. And so we're going to use this as make a little porch leaner here. So let's position these. I'm going to have to kind of figure out where these are going to go. Get the 2 end ones centered. I'm going to do it this way, I think. Let's see here. Just want to kind of eyeball it here. And I'm just going to look. I'm going to take these 2 stars and put them in between 2. And they don't show up a whole lot because of it being dark, but they're good enough. This is pretty rustic, pretty Americana, as I want to call it. So that needs to be moved down a little bit. I'm just kind of guesstimating. I'm not measuring, doing anything like that. I just guesstimate. Do y'all guesstimate? I bought that bundle a couple of years ago. It looked familiar. Yeah. So they're handy. You come in. I've got Barnwood at home, but it's easier just to get them. They're already pre-cut for you and all that. So okay. So I'm going to use some tight bond here. I keep it upside down in a cup, and then I'm going to use hot glue too. And just want to make sure that I've got it pretty much where I need it to be. I should have gotten a ruler and did the middle, but that'll be all right. All right, so I'm going to use some Titebond on here and then use some hot glue as well around the edges there. So that'll give me a hold pretty quick. You just never know with these, because it'll still slide around with a Titebond. So I wanted to make sure that I have a temporary hold with the hot glue there. But I am anxious to see what you guys make with your napkins. And Pat, I don't have your address. You did not message me your address, girl. I need your address so I can send you a napkin bundle if you want it. I mean, if you don't want it, that's okay. You may have plenty of napkins, but I thought, well, I'll send you one because I meant to bring one to you when we were in Texas, and I did not do it. So, all right, now I'm just looking. I've got to take it here. It's so long. They need to come up a little bit with this one, which I don't know. I don't think it's going to be exact, but it'll be close. Okay, so let's get that one. Since I put hot glue, I can't move it. If I was just using the Titebond, I could have just moved it where I needed to move it because it was still able to slide it around. But so I'm just looking here. It's close. It's not. That one's not going to come off, so it's close. It's all right. It's okay. You get the idea, right? So so I'm going to use the. Here we go. So here's what we have, just like that. It's not perfect, but it's close. And you could do a bow at the top if you wanted to do a bow. I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to use these little rusted primitive stars. These are about, I would say these are about 2 inches. Let me look and see how wide long these are. These, no, they're actually, it looks like it's 4 inches long, so they're longer than I thought. But I'm going to read again. I did this in the beginning. This is the item number for these stars. Okay, this is from factorydirectcraft.com. The item number is 247226. 247226. And I mean, if y'all want to take a screenshot of that and then enlarge it, you can. But that's the item number for these particular stars here, okay? So I'm going to put those in between those. Let's see, where's my glue? Where's my glue? I'm going to use the B7000 because it's just what I picked up. So you could do stars at the top if you wanted to, some smaller stars. You can just make one, make it a little shelf sitter or a little sitter for your tier tray. Just use one of them. This is just my idea. Just to make a little porch leaner. So I'll just get some more of this. Okay, I'm squeezing as hard as I can with this one. And this would be pretty if it was a little lighter too, but this charcoal color, I think, goes super well with the background of this napkin, because this napkin, it has like a linen kind of a look to it pattern. excuse me, a woven look. And which side do I want to use? And it has that charcoal underneath there, so it has that color. So that kind of worked out, excuse me, to my advantage there. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to get a little sip of coffee because I'm got a tickle in my throat. Okay, I'm gonna let that just sit there, and I'm gonna put this back in there. The B7000 has a little pin that goes inside that tip, which helps keep it from being clogged up. I might have one. Send me a message. Oh, you're talking about, send me a message to you. Oh, you're talking about somebody else. Paris themed napkins. I don't have a Paris themed napkin, I don't think. I don't. Well, somebody may have sent me a Paris themed napkin, but I can't remember, so. I'd have to look. I apologize, guys. I got a bad tickle. Okay, so I'm going to let that, you'll get the idea. But it's pretty rustic. You can see it. See how pretty and rustic that is? That would go in a rustic farmhouse look. I'll seal it. But see how the napkin has that dark charcoal background? Well, that blends in, I think, really nice with the charcoal Barnwood right there, right? So that's that. So I think what I'm going to do, though, as I'm looking at it right now, I'm going to take the vintage, I don't have it. What would have been pretty is to have used the Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide by Tim Holtz, but I keep the vintage photo on my cart all the time. But I'm just gonna darken the napkin a little bit. Just give it a little bit of a distressed look on the white. Not anything over the top, you know. Just a light, just light, and I like that. I am gonna go a little darker because I like that look. So I'm gonna go a little darker there. And it just looks like it's been coffee stained, really. Or that it's been out in the weather, you know. You know, those old flags, how they look when they've been out in the weather. But it just has that weathered coffee stain look, and it has that crackle effect to it, which I fell in love with it when I saw it. And I knew this was going to make a really pretty I knew it was going to make a really pretty home decor piece when I saw this napkin. And I do keep that in mind, like I said, when I'm looking at napkins. I like to envision something being made. Sometimes I know right away what I can use it for, but you got to have it to where you can, it'll look right being decoupaged on there. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit, rub that in a little bit. Spotted. So we're just aging it. Going over the background. Let's see. Thank you for sprinkling, Teresa. It does bring it together with the stars, doesn't it, Pat? It does. The stars, you know, are rusty, and so it does. I could have just gone around the edges of that and darkened it. No, but it looks fine. It's kind of smearing it a little bit. Nothing's perfect when anything is coffee stained. You're going to get things that are blotchy. So don't let that, if you don't like that blotchy look, then don't do it, because you're going to get a blotchy look, because you can't control when you coffee stain or tea stain something. You can't control how that's going to look either. So, so I think it looks a lot better. So let me just kind of smoothen out some of those blotches there. I can't exactly wet it, but I think it looks a lot better. Can y'all see? I can probably go a little darker on some of this, really. But I'll work on that. But see how the flags, it just looks a little bit more distressed, a little bit more coffee stained, tea stained, or whatever. So see that one up there? So that I think tones it down a little bit more, and I like it. I'm really happy with this. I'm gonna just kind of go around and get it. Just dirty it up a little bit, just where it looks like it's been sitting out for ages. Get it the kind of look I want to give it. Isn't it pretty, Sharon? I like it. I shouldn't have said it that way. That makes me sound, but I like it. So just the blotchier the better. Okay. I think we're good. I think. You could just do this till the cows come home, couldn't you? All right. So it's pretty blotchy, pretty stained up looking. There, give you a close-up look. How about that? Give you that close-up on there. And I'll do it to the side there. You can see it. Can you see it better that way? So, but anyway, that is my project for today, using that napkin from my napkin bundle. I think it's really super cute. I'm not going to do a bow on it. This probably would eventually be out on my front porch. I'll seal it. But I like the look, the old look. It gives it character. It does, doesn't it, Mary Lou? It does. And I think the stars, Sharon, look good with it too. I do. You know, another idea that you could have is you could do some little stars, a rusted star on the stripes. You could, the smaller ones, they have all kinds of different sizes. You could do something like that as well. You know, so but you could make one individual one, or to go on a tier tray. That's the perfect size for that. Or you could do something like I've done, make a porch leaner with that. So you could do it straight across. You could do, I could have easily have done it this way, had them going that way horizontally. You could do a ribbon underneath all three of these in the middle coming down. That would be pretty as well, I think. So thank you, Carmen. Thank you. Has my friend Cindy been crafting? She had not much. She was live last week. Her husband told her, he came home one day and said, we're going to go to Palm Springs. They have a place in Palm Springs. So they took her mom to Palm Springs. They left Saturday. That was a surprise. And so she canceled her craft round the clock live because she said it was hard to craft with Edward and her mom in the house. So they are leaving today. I think today they're leaving. And the trip was hard on her mom. I think it may have been better if they'd stayed home, to be honest. But it was hard on her mom, her back. And so she was in pain a good bit and grumpy and, you know, 91 years old. And so she hasn't been on. So I imagine when she gets home and gets everything settled, she'll be live again. So, and get back into the swing of things. That was just a surprise. You like the antique look, Cheryl? I do too. I like that. I like the old vintage, you know, weathered, just that weathered look of just the flags from in the 18, you know, who knows, you know me well, what that flag, but I mean, that old look is what you get. So, Pat, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So, she should be on. What was the star company name, please? I'll tell you again, Kathy. Factory Direct Crafts. I got something in my hair. Factory Direct Crafts.com is where I get a lot of my stars and some of my craft supplies. And here is the item number. Get you a pencil or a pen, or go back and watch the end here. 247226. 247226. Put the item number in the search bar. I'm gonna put it there, and you can screenshot it and then enlarge it. Okay, factorydirectcrafts.com is this size flag, this size star. They have larger ones, which I have. They have some that are 5 and 6 inches. They have some that are smaller. They have some that are like your primitive blue and your barn red with the little speckles. They've got great, pretty green ones. They've got all kind of stars that you can imagine. Your traditional stars, your primitive stars, which I love. And so check them out. Check them out. I'm not an affiliate with them. That's just who I order from. And you're welcome, Kathy. No, she has not found her laptop, Pat. She filed a report with the airport, whatever that's called, in both airports, in the Dallas airport as well as California. And she hasn't heard it. No one has turned it in. So, it was in her bag, in her carry-on bag, which was open, and she had it under the seat. And I said, it's possible that it slid out and went underneath the seat in front of you or behind you. But she did not have it out at the house. So, you hate to say this, but it could be possible that that repair guy that kept coming out could have gone in and got it. But I think their bedroom was the first bedroom you came to. But everybody in their house had their laptops there when they were gone. So I think it was lost in the airport. And she did not leave her bag, so it wasn't stolen out of her bag. She did not leave her bag at any time, she said. So she's hoping she finds it, but she did buy a new one, and I hope she had her husband's business stuff backed up on it. That was just unfortunate for her the night before. Just kind of put a damper on her trip a little bit. But it is what it is. So she seems to be okay with it, and I guess Edward was okay with it. So, but anyway, so you're expecting a cold snap here in Arkansas after storms this Friday. Teresa, that's what we're having. We're going to have a little cold spell. It's going to be like the highs in the 60s. It's not going to be bad. But when you've been in the low 80s, the high 70s and low 80s, it's, but it'll be comfortable, I think. It'll be comfortable. So, guys, thank you so much for being with me this morning. And my lengthy live, but I just took my time and visited. I so enjoy visiting with y'all. And we might have not been low, but we were mighty in numbers, weren't we? And I just appreciate each and every one of you being here and joining me this morning. Thank you so much. It was a shame. But y'all have a great day. You too, Helga. And I will see you guys next week. I think Wednesday for sure. I think it's Wednesday. My craft round the clock is the only day I could snag. So my schedule's all off too, but we'll get back on the swing of things. How about that? Thank you. You're going into work. Well, have a good day at work, Sonia. And it was fun, wasn't it, Anastasia? Listen to me, gosh. Anastasia. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. And there you go. There's my, if y'all want to take a screenshot of it. So there you go. There it is. I think it turned out cute. So I hope it gave you some great ideas. If you're interested in the napkin bundle, I've pinned it in the comments. Be glad to mail you out one. Talk to y'all later, and God bless. Have a great weekend.